Hi everyone, I'm Eddie Mac, and we are just a few weeks away from the 10th edition of CAW All-Stars. With me at this time are two men that will be facing off at CAW All-Stars 10 in one of the future bouts. Matt Pharaoh from TPGW and from, TPGW, that being the People's Global Wrestling, and from WFS, Wrestling Fantasy Showdown, Soul Reaper. All right. Before we begin digging into what how this match came about and all that, and your thoughts and feelings on it, there are people that may know who Matt Farrell and Soul Reaper are, but of course there are people watching that don't. Matt, I will begin with you. Tell the world about Matt Farrell.
Well, what's there to say about Matt Pharaoh? I am the hardcore King of Kings. I'm the man who seals the deal every time he steps in the ring. I'm the man that beat Zack Starr at Prestige. Soul Reaper, how was your Prestige match?
We want Flame Time to address that. We're just introducing.
But you're right. There are some people out there who don't know who Matt Pharaoh is, and that's perfectly understandable. I mean, I've been kind of an underground hit for, 6 years. As a matter of fact, Mr. Eddie of the Mac, I would like to point out the fact that I have competed at CAW All-Stars twice, and that this match between Soul Reaper and I is an official rematch, a celebration of TPGW, as put apart by MTB, D-Wall, and Holly Harris, as well as Mr. SRH himself, to celebrate the first ever match that TPGW ever hosted 6 years ago between Soul Reaper and myself. Now, I lost that first match. I'm perfectly okay with that because I came back about a year later on Fury and super kicked this guy into submission. So I guess you could call this the rubber match, which I am perfectly okay with that because I'm willing to super kick him all over again.
All right, fair enough. Soul Reaper, tell the world about you, if you will.
You see, Eddie, I have been in this business for so long, you'd think I wouldn't have to. It took me 10 years to get a spot in CAW All-Stars. They should have called me during the first event, but hey, not everyone can recognize talent. However, MTV, Mr. SRH, D-Wall, Holly Harris, even the man sitting right next to me saw that talent. So, a little bit about me. Well, former hardcore champion, former tag champion, former world champion. Well, I got a few accolades to my name. And I'm hoping to add one more, getting my first victory at CAW All-Stars in my first match. No disrespect to you, Pharaoh, but your head's gonna roll.
No disrespect taken. Well, it's true last year I didn't do so well at CAW All-Stars. I lost to Malik, which I am perfectly okay with because it set my career on a skyrocketing path over the past year, which I am perfectly fine with. But before that, it was at CAW All-Star 6. Eddie Mac, I don't know if you know this, or I don't know if you've seen CAW All-Star 6 in its entirety, but it was the first time back then TPWF was ever featured at CAW All-Stars, and it was a featured match all right when I super kicked and defeated Duncan. And last time I checked, Soul Reaper, the last time you went up against Duncan, he kicked your ass. He kicked your ass 5 ways till Sunday, where I took everything that so-called Nightmare had to send and super kicked him and won.
Well, with all due respect, Matt, first I will say this: I have not seen CAW All-Star 6. This was during one of my extended breaks, and I think of the last 5 or 6, the only one I've missed. But with all due respect, Duncan has changed quite a bit over the last 4 years or so. Um, could you beat Duncan as he is today?
Well, Eddie, with all due respect, I've changed quite a bit over the past 4 or 5 years as well. I'm not just the I'm not just the rookie upstart who thought he could take down C.J. Hawkins and lose. I'm not just the guy that's tried to step up to Malik Brown in the most personal way and got his ass handed to him anymore. I'm the guy that's facing people like Sackstar, like Monkey D. Luffy, like Extreme Tony, like Malik Brown, like C.J. Hawkins. My name is getting up there with those guys. I mean, look at what I've done over the past. Look at what I've done over the past few months. TPGW Triple Crown Champion, UCWL Cyberspace Champion, WFS Renegade Champion. Not to mention the fact that I'm a former Euro American Champion and a 2-time Hardcore Champion at that. All due respect to Duncan and his magic voodoo Osherish shit or whatever, I pulled myself up by my own boot. Some people say bootstraps, I say boot because that's exactly what happens when I step in a ring. That boot goes right into their jaw. It's what I do every day. It's my job. It's what I do when I go to work. What I do for a living is I super kick people, Eddie. And despite everything Duncan stands for, I can beat him any day of the week. Just like I did 4 years ago.
Fair enough. Soul Reaper, how do you respond to that?
I mean, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Matt Pharaoh is definitely the man he said. He's changed every time he goes into that ring. Straps on his boot, puts it in someone else's jaw.
Yeah, you know what that feels like, don't you?
My next question to you is this, Soul Reaper. Are you going to have a different strategy this time around? Because obviously you've heard Matt's changed quite a bit since the last time you two have met. Obviously you have changed and evolved as well. Any strategy, anything different you're going to do this time around from last time you faced off?
Well, I'm not of everything get to me. I think that was probably one of the biggest problems I've had in my career. When I was world champion for a year, I'll be honest, I rarely defended the belt. I was too busy just riding that high of, wow, I'm finally a world champ. But now, I have a new goal in mind. Put on the best damn show ever. And that's what I strive to do every time I step into that ring, similar to Matt Pharaoh. And come CAW All-Stars, when I face Matt Pharaoh, I'm expecting him at his 110%. I'm expecting him at his 120%. I just hope he expects me at that same level. Because if he doesn't, it's going to be his mistake. So what I'm doing differently, I'm no longer riding that high. I know exactly what's going on. That's the difference.
So are we expecting you to bring that same intensity? The same intensity we saw at Apocalypse when you nearly ended the career of Zaya Steele. Are we expecting that same intensity at CAW All-Stars set? Because, this is a huge showcase, and there's no guarantee that either of you or both of you will be back. And there's no guarantee necessarily that you two will meet again.
I'm not going to insult Matt Pharaoh. I'm going to bring more than what I brought to Zaya Steel. Zaya Steel only got a taste. I'm giving Matt Pharaoh the whole entree. Because, see, that's what CAW All-Stars represents. Bringing the absolute best and everyone that shows up. So, yes, I'm going to bring in something like that. Only it's going to be a lot more.
Same question to you, Matt. What kind of intensity are we going to expect from you at CAW All-Stars 10?
Whatever you saw me do against Zach Starr, whatever you saw me do against Malik Brown, whatever you saw me do against Duncan, Soul Reaper is not going to be ready for what goes beyond that. I would like to point something out, Eddie. And this is something I've noticed. Whether it's me or whether it's Soul Reaper, in our history in TPWF and TPGW, despite the Pantheons, despite the New Guards, despite the Daniel Stones, despite the Duncan Vermills, Soul Reaper and I have always been labeled as the faces of this company, of TPGW. And that's what this battle is. The war to become the face of TPGW. Matt Pharaoh and Soul Reaper, the two guys that started it all. The two guys that are going to fight to be the face. And I intend to super kick his face. Because that's what I do. I claim it. I own it. I am the new master of the super kick. You can be a Zach Stone. You can be a Zach Starr. You can be an AJ Young. You could be whoever decides they want to add a super kick to their repertoire. By the end of CAW All-Stars, everyone will know that that move is mine and that foot is on his jaw. When the 1-2-3 hits the mat and Matt Pharaoh stands tall, sealing the deal once again at CAW All-Stars. So it has been said, so it shall be written, and you know the rest.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna get you guys out of here on this. Soul Reaper. Last words to Matt.
Last words.
Mm-hmm.
Pharaoh. Dead in the eyes. When all this is said and done, I promise, you're not going to be thinking about how you're the master of the super kick. You're going to be questioning how to reattach your head to your freaking shoulders after I slice it clean off. The execution is near. And it's going to be at CAW All-Stars. I promise that.
Matt, any last words to Soul Reaper?
Quote the Reaper nevermore, huh? You sit there and you say that you're going to slice my head off. It's going to be hard to speak with your teeth down your throat. Everyone is going to watch. Because after I beat you, Reaper, my sights are set towards the TPGW World title I've never won. My sights will be set to the VWU World Championship. My sights will be set to whatever promotion decides they're ready for the Hardcore King of Kings. I've already gotten offers from DCA. I've turned them down because you know what I said? I'm not going over with some balalaika bitch. I ain't no rebel. I am the rebellion. I am the one-man revolution. And I'm going to revolutionize CAW. And it starts at CAW All-Stars 10. When you and me fight one more time.
The stakes will be high at CAW All-Stars 10 as Matt Pharaoh and Soul Reaper reprise the first ever TPGW matchup in what should be an absolute classic. Hope you're there for it. I'm Eddie Mack. Thanks for watching.